for being with us. I'm Kate Chappell in for Marion Brooks.
And I'm Alex Maragos. We're beginning here with some breaking news from the northwest suburbs. Mike Lorber is up in Sky 5 over this crash. Mike?
Alex and Kate, this is an absolutely brutal looking crash that has the majority of the eastbound Jane Addams toll, that is Interstate 90, shut down before Meacham Road. A lot of vehicles involved, a lot of damage. What we're not showing you on the air there, that silver vehicle, it's in the front and right in the center of the picture. On the other side of that, unfortunately, we have seen a sheet which appears to be covering up a body. We're trying to get confirmation with the Tollway Authority on the injuries or anything worse at this time, but they are not touching any of these vehicles, and workers down on the scene looking despondent from our view. Traffic east on 90 is sitting still before Roselle to Meacham here. It will not open up except for that left shoulder for some time to come. So if this is in your travel plans, think about Gulf Road or Algonquin or Higgins as a couple of alternate routes. We'll keep you posted on any developments. We're live here in Schaumburg. I'm Mike Lorber in Sky 5.
Mike, thanks so much. Right now, we are taking a look at the life of Jerry Springer. The politician turned talk show host passed away at his home in the Chicago suburbs. He was a giant in television, and his controversial talk show aired for nearly 30 years, most of it taped right here at NBC Tower. And NBC5's Christian Farr tells us Springer had many more ties to the Chicago area.
Without fighting, and no one fights because I'm up here now.
Jerry Springer made TV history with the show that shared his name. The 79-year-old, whose popular show ran for more than 25 years, died today at his home in suburban Chicago.
It was a shock.
Carl Alimo worked on Springer's show when it was shot at NBC Tower in the mid-90s. Several months back, Alimo had lunch with Springer and says it was an exciting time to work on that show.
He was truly a man of the people. He respected his audience. I can remember us doing shows. You know, we would have 2 shows a day, and we would go late. And we would have jam-packed audience, and Jerry would be very, very to the point that he wanted to meet every one of his fans.
It's certainly sad to hear of his passing.
Father Mike Flager and many others protested the show when it was being shot here in Chicago. While Flager admits that Springer did good work by serving as mayor of Cincinnati early on in his career, along with other political ventures, he will probably be remembered for a show that appeared to have no limits.
I think that took precedence because it was so wild at that time. Unfortunately, we live in a day where violence and degrading of people has become almost a norm in this country.
Tonight for America's abortion policy.
Springer's commentary on NBC5 News in the 90s led to anchors Carol Maureen and Ron Majors leaving the station. NBC5 veteran Art Norman says Springer's legacy is more than just his commentary and that show.
He's got a lot of different chapters in his life, and they're very positive for him, but he made a lot of money along the way.
Christian Farr, NBC5 News.
Our thanks to Christian. And fellow talk show host Maury Povich reacted to Springer's death, saying in part he was not only a colleague but a friend. He was joyful, smart, and in his own way, a unique showman, unquote. Steve Wilkos of the Steve Wilkos Show said, "Other than my father, Jerry was the most influential man in my life. Everything I have today I owe to Jerry. He was the smartest, most generous, kindest person I've ever known." And our parent company, NBC Universal, said in part, quote, "Jerry Springer was much more than a talk show host who redefined television. He connected equally with both the powerful and the man on the street."
Some other news now here at 4 o'clock, still developing. It's the second day of deliberations in the ComEd 4 bribery trial. The jury has more than 6 weeks of testimony and audio to go through. NBC5's Charlie Wojciechowski has more on the questions the jury has asked the judge so far. Charlie.
Well, so far, Kate, they've been rather minor questions, things about defining words that are used in the indictment. They've also asked for transcripts of certain testimony from the trial. They've also asked for binders to organize those transcripts. Now, just in the last few minutes, we've learned that there will be no deliberations here at the federal building on Friday. Both the judge and one of the other jurors has prior commitments, so it's looking like the earliest we could see a verdict in this case could be Monday. After 3 days, the jury in the ComEd 4 trial is still out, communicating with the judge through a series of questions about what evidence they're allowed to examine for themselves. The first thing the jurors want to see is a physical copy of the indictment against Mike McLean, John Hooker, Jay Doherty, and Ann Pramaggiore. Up to this point, they have only heard the charges read to them in open court. The indictment accuses the so-called ComEd 4 of corruptly giving things of value like jobs, contracts, and payments for the benefit of public official A. During the trial, prosecutors made it clear that public official A was then House Speaker Mike Madigan, who they allege allowed ComEd to pursue an agenda in Springfield that helped turn the company around and earn it millions of dollars in profits. The jobs were allegedly given to Madigan loyalists. Former ComEd VP Vidal Marquez asked defendant Jay Doherty on a hidden camera what those people, referred to as subcontractors, did.
They're a sub under you, and you cut them a check. Do they do anything, or what do they do? What do you have them doing?
Not much.
The defendants are also charged with knowingly falsifying certain ComEd books, records, and accounts by obscuring the detail of transactions involving those subcontractors. McLean, Hooker, Pramaggiore, and Doherty maintained they did nothing illegal, but rather were simply lobbying and goodwill building, all part of doing business in Springfield. Now, Mike Madigan is not on trial in this case. He is under indictment and will likely face his own trial next year. As for the four involved in this case, they are not present in the courtroom. When there is a verdict, they will be summoned to this courtroom to hear that verdict. Jurors, again, still deliberating at this hour. We expect that to end, though, sometime around 5 o'clock. Reporting live from the Federal Building, Charlie Wojciechowski, NBC 5 News.
Charlie, thank you. And new here at 4 o'clock, a very disturbing story. A suburban high school track coach is facing child pornography charges. Glenn Messmer was charged in federal court with possessing child pornography. He was a track coach at Downers Grove South High School. Court documents say Messmer told investigators he messaged as many as 60 girls on Snapchat and Telegram, offering them money for sexually explicit pictures and videos. District 99 says Messmer was not a full-time employee and that he resigned this week.
A West Suburban high school dismissed classes early today due to an apparent swatting call. Sky 5 was over the scene at Glenbard West High School after someone made a bomb threat this morning. Students and staff evacuated the building as police swarmed the area. Nearby streets were closed but reopened when the all clear was given around noon. Shocking surveillance video shows a school bus plowing through a front yard and hitting a home in Western Springs. Look at this. It happened around 6:30 this morning in the 3800 block of Hampton Avenue. The driver said they swerved to avoid hitting an animal. Thankfully, there were no children on the bus at the time, and the home has only cosmetic damages.
Wow. Let's now get a check on our forecast right now. Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brant Miller. Love these temperatures, Brant.
Love those colors back there.
Yeah.
The color code says yes. The average for this date is now 64 degrees. We've exceeded that. 66 at O'Hare, 66 at Midway. Where do temperatures head as we roll overnight tonight? Some places may drop into the upper 30s, but the warming trend will continue inland. Look what happens tomorrow. The winds turn off Lake Michigan. High temperature only in the 50s near the lakeshore. But as you get farther inland across McHenry County, look for middle 60s once again. And we'll shop a little farther to the south. Right in the city, look at this. Northern Cook County, Evanston only 49, 49 in the city of Chicago, 60 in Naperville, middle 60s out in Kane County. What's it look like for the weekend? When does the rain get here? All those sordid details straight ahead.
Thank you, Brant. It's been just over 2 weeks since the deadly mass shooting in Louisville. A 25-year-old armed with an assault-style rifle walked into a bank where he worked, killing 5 people and wounding 8 before he was killed by police. Now, for the first time since that attack, we're hearing from the gunman's parents, who say they want to help prevent another tragedy. Jay Gray has the story.
For the first time since the deadly mass shooting in Louisville.
For 2 weeks, we've been lying in bed awake at night, replaying all this in our head.
We are hearing from the parents of the man responsible.
We are so sorry. We are heartbroken.
Initially reluctant to speak.
We have a concern about inadvertently being disrespectful to the families.
But ultimately, they want other families struggling with mental illness to hear their story, hoping to prevent another mass shooting. In an exclusive interview with Savannah Guthrie on Today, acknowledging their son had a history of anxiety, suffering what they describe as a panic attack, and meeting with his psychiatrist less than a week before the massacre.
And They thought we thought he was coming out of the crisis.
They say they had no idea that same week he bought the AR-15 rifle used in the killing spree.
We know that Connor was seeing 2 mental health professionals and that he was able to walk in, and from what we've been told, again, I don't know, just what we've been told is that he walked in and walked out with a weapon and ammunition in 40 minutes.
A weapon and ammunition used to take the lives of 5 co-workers and wound 8, including a Louisville police officer still in critical condition.
They were just trying to do their jobs, provide for their families. And they will never be the same due to his actions.
Actions, his parents say, they'll never fully understand. Jay Gray, NBC News.
And we want to remind you, if you or someone you know needs mental health help, just dial 988. It'll connect you to a trained crisis worker who will listen, offer support and resources.
The woman at the center of the Emmett Till case has died. Till was murdered after whistling at Carolyn Bryant Donham. She passed away in Mississippi today after a battle with cancer. Donham was 88 years old. Last year, a grand jury declined to indict her in Till's death. In 1955, Donham's then-husband and another man murdered Till. He was just 14 years old and visiting relatives in Mississippi. You can learn much more about Emmett Till by streaming our documentary, The Lost Story of Emmett Till, Then and Now, on our website, NBCChicago.com, as well as on Roku and on Fire TV.
Chicago native Dwayne Wade leaves Florida in protest.
We're going to tell you where the former NBA star moved his family. Plus, it's a hopeful day across the NFL as the draft gets underway tonight. We will take you live to Kansas City for the latest on what the Bears may do. And
should women with dense breasts have different screening guidelines for breast cancer? One woman shares her story after it took more than a mammogram to diagnose her cancer. I'm Lauren Petty. I'll have that story coming up.
Former Chicago Bull and NBA star Dwayne Wade is speaking out about why he moved to California, moving his family from Florida, where he ended his career with the Miami Heat. Wade tells People magazine it was a personal decision, partly based on his 15-year-old daughter coming out as transgender in 2020. He says his family would not feel accepted or comfortable there, adding that Florida politicians who count themselves among his fans are also vocal proponents of LGBTQ policies that negatively impact families like his.
Well, right now we are just under 3 hours until the NFL draft begins. The Bears holding tight right now with the 9th pick. And NBC5's Mike Berman is live in Kansas City with more on all the action we expect tonight. Everything's all set up, Mike, and ready to go.
Yeah, we're ready and just waiting to find out who the Bears take. And right now, as you said, no movement from Ryan Poles and company. They remain with the 9th overall pick. It's nice to know that whatever they decide to do, we're this close to finding out after like 3.5 months of discussing and prognosticating. And by the way, make no mistake, this is a huge day in this Bears rebuild. Poles and company need to nail this pick. So we will find out in 3+ hours what they do end up doing. For Poles, he's looking at making his first-round pick as Bears GM. Remember, the team didn't have a first-rounder last year as part of that 2021 draft night trade to move up and take Justin Fields. Whoever the Bears choose, this evening starts 3 frenetic days of a massively important draft for the organization. So how does the front office manage the emotions over the course of these 3 days? Assistant GM Ian Cunningham explained.
Trying to find calmness through chaos. A little bit is just relax. The cool thing is now that we've been together and we spend so much time together as a staff, you kind of get to know everybody, and some guys you kind of poke to kind of lighten the mood. I think I'm the one that's probably with the stern face, and those guys are trying to poke me. So, yeah, it's just learning each other and just feeling each other out.
Gotta keep the mood light in that draft room. There's so much at stake. Certainly nothing is sure on draft night, but it looks like the Bears are more likely than not to take an offensive lineman or someone who can help them on defense, rushing the passer, or on the defensive line. We will find out coming up soon. Today's biggest breaking news to this point has nothing to do with the draft. It's Lamar Jackson getting his big contract with the Ravens. So we await, Alex, whatever happens behind me, about 200 yards behind me on that draft stage, and we'll see who the Bears pick coming up tonight right now at number 9. Live in Kansas City, Mike Berman, NBC 5 Sports.
Mike, thanks. A lot of holes on that team, so we'll see what they end up doing. Join us tonight for Draft Night in Chicago. All the action starts in less than an hour at 5 o'clock on NBC Sports Chicago. Then at 7 o'clock, our panel of analysts will sound off on the first round of the NFL Draft live on our 24/7 streaming news channel. So you can watch that on Roku, Peacock, Samsung TV Plus, Zumo, NBCChicago.com, and the NBC Chicago app.
Very exciting. All right, let's get a check of the forecast now. Brant, a beautiful day. Good to see some sunshine. I know it's still not quite where we'd like temperatures just yet.
You know, we can almost drag the television out in the backyard to watch
there you go.
The draft stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Nice one.
Good idea.
Check this out. Look at the clear blue skies we've got this afternoon. 66. Current temperature at O'Hare. The average for this date is now 64. What to expect as we roll through the next several days will give you an idea. Only 59 tomorrow. There could be some showers around in the morning. A system skirts us to the south and east. Saturday, showers in the morning, 60. Only 50 on Sunday. Only 50 with showers around. 49 on Monday. It can't get colder, can it? No, it starts to turn around a little bit as we get into Tuesday. 55, and then we roll on to Wednesday. That weather system finally pulls away back to the 60s by the middle part of next week. The pattern is about to get blocked. We're about to see this big Omega block firing up, and we'll show you that here at Stormcast as we push on toward the weekend. For now, things are pretty quiet. We've got a northern stream system that stays away from us, and the southern system, last night at 10 o'clock we had it getting close to us, and it's still kind of lingering out to the south and west. You might see a couple of showers late tonight into early morning tomorrow, but certainly not a big weather maker for Chicago. That pulls away, and then the northern branch of the jet stream starts to bring this system toward us. Look at the timeline. Most of Friday will be dry, and as we get to the early morning hours of Saturday, there's 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, you may see a few showers moving through, and those progress off to the east into northwest Indiana by the afternoon hours. But on the Illinois side, you may see a little sunshine peeking through. That center low pressure starts to really crank up over the Great Lakes. Scattered showers into the evening hours of Saturday, and then this thing just kind of sits here. You can see one little lobe of moisture that comes through at 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Then as the day progresses on Sunday, cloud cover hangs in here. Scattered showers still with us. There's 6 o'clock in the evening, and this pattern will persist into the first days of next week. Here's that jet stream pattern, and we showed you this yesterday. Here's that shape, that Greek letter Omega. Storm system on the west coast slides down the west coast. Eventually this pattern breaks down latter part of next week, and we'll see some warmer temperatures. Again, the average for this date is around 64 degrees. Here's the profile for the next 10 days. 59 tomorrow. A couple of showers early, most of the day dry, a chance of showers on Saturday, spotty stuff, and then Sunday, it just kind of sits on us. Sunday into Monday and early on Tuesday. More on the forecast coming up here in the next half hour.
All right, Brant, thank you. Let's check back in on that breaking news on I-90. Mike, what's the latest here?
Alex, just a horribly violent crash here that has the majority of the eastbound Jane Addams toll shut down just before Meacham. You can see traffic just gets by on that left shoulder. We did hear several transports from the dispatch of this crash. Now, what we're not showing you is, unfortunately, on the other side of that silver car, there is a sheet that appears to be covering a body. We have reached out to both District 15 State Police and Schaumburg to see if we can get a rundown and any injuries or worse involved in this crash. Eastbound 90 crawls from Barrington to east of Meacham. It's going to be that way for a long time. Think about Gulf, Algonquin, or Higgins as long-term alternate routes. We're live here in Schaumburg. I'm Mike Lorber, Sky 5.
All right, Mike, thank you. Still ahead here, a social media challenge that parents need to know about.
What kids are attempting that's left some hurt and at least one dead. Plus, 24 families are still homeless nearly 2 years after a tornado tore through their community.
The tornado happened and my life became a nightmare.
That was the first red flag.
Repair delays are keeping them from returning home. Why is it taking so long? NBC 5 responds.
Doctors in New Jersey are now warning parents about a dangerous challenge on TikTok after a 13-year-old boy was hospitalized. It's called the Benadryl Challenge, and teens take up to 14 Benadryl pills to try to make themselves hallucinate. We reported on this earlier this week on a teen in Ohio who died because of this weeks ago. A mother from New Jersey says days later, her son looked up the challenge on TikTok.
I think very often the kids are pretty uneducated about these things, and they don't realize how dangerous it might be, and they think so many other people have done it already, and so they must know what they're doing, so it must be okay.
So the 13-year-old who was hospitalized has recovered. TikTok says it has blocked the search for any video with the word Benadryl in it.
The FDA is now requiring mammogram facilities to notify women if they have dense breast tissue. Most clinics in Chicago are already doing this, but if you get that dense designation, health experts say you should talk to your doctor about whether additional cancer screenings are needed. Health and wellness reporter Lauren Petty has the story of one suburban woman's cancer diagnosis that may have been missed otherwise.
After losing her mom to uterine cancer, Trina Brucato is vigilant about screenings.
My kids are my life, and I lost my mom.
After her yearly mammogram, the mother of three got called back for a diagnostic mammogram, the radiologist ultimately determining she had a benign cyst. But her gynecologist had ordered a bilateral ultrasound too, because Trina has dense breasts.
I went back, they said, we found another lesion. And I thought, well, they just did all that other stuff. That can't be right.
It was stage 1 breast cancer, and Trina is now recovering from a lumpectomy.
He's saved my life.
And I applaud that physician for doing that.
Dr. V.K. Gotti says for women with dense breast tissue, cancer can be harder to detect.
When you look at the radiograph of a dense breast, it honestly looks like a snowstorm, and you're trying to find another white thing in a snowstorm. But it also, surprising to a lot of people, it makes that breast more prone to have cancer in the first place.
Current guidelines from the American Cancer Society say a woman of average risk should get a yearly mammogram starting at age 40, but there aren't specific guidelines for women with dense breasts.
I would hope any woman with dense breasts, it's automatically, the guideline is to then have an ultrasound. Mammogram didn't find my cancer. It didn't.
Dr. Gotti says screening guidelines should be considered the minimum.
And the guidelines are probably the floor, right? And in so many cases, we can do better than the floor. So have that conversation, because we just don't know. For any given woman, there might be really better tools that are not even recognized in the guidelines.
Trina's grateful her doctor recommended that ultrasound.
I'm just thankful that it happened this way, and the more people that I can tell, I'll tell my story every day.
Lauren Petty, NBC 5 News.
Powerful message. Thanks to Lauren. Ahead at 4:30, a warning about a new rash of violent carjackings.
Plus, Regina Waldrop is telling us about a developing story.
Parents of a unique elementary school in Chicago fighting to keep it from closing.
And a peacock on the loose is back home at the Bronx Zoo, but not before it attacked someone on its day out on the town. Right now at 4:30, hope from parents desperate to save their children's school, why it's set to close, and the scramble to make other plans.
Plus, a new push for ambulance training that one family says could have saved their loved one's life.
And the race for the White House heats up with one candidate's shocking comment about President Biden's lifespan. First, a developing story. It's going to be a big loss for kids and their community.
That's what parents are saying about the impending closure of Hope Learning Academy. NBC 5's Regina Waldrop spoke with parents who hope that something can be done to keep the school open.
At 1628 West Washington, there's a unique elementary school.
I think it's a wonderful thing they're doing.
Nakira Taylor planned to send her 5-year-old son to Hope Learning Academy in the fall. Now, she's making other plans. The nonprofit that has a contract with CPS to run the school recently announced plans to pull out.
It's sad because now we have to look for schools for the kids to go to, and it's tough.
Hope Learning Academy opened up here on the Near West Side in 2009. And while most of the students are typical learners, about 25% have a developmental disability, many diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Terriana Hamilton's daughter is a kindergartner at Hope.
I love this school, and we didn't get a notice until the day of. Why would you do that?
Christopher Manning works and lives in the neighborhood.
Kids come here because most of the kids live in the same neighborhood around the school.
There are currently 220 students enrolled at the school, down from 420 in 2012. The organization that runs Hope told NBC5 in a statement, conversations regarding closure of this program have been going on for years when enrollment started to decline. Academic results continued to be low, and a lack of cooperation and funding issues became the norm with CPS. An additional major hurdle has been the denial of expansion to 6th, 7th, and 8th grade 3 times in the last 4 years. CPS told us we are actively engaging with school officials and families to develop a plan that best meets the individual needs of students and staff. There's now an online petition to keep the school open and merge it with CPS.
Whatever y'all can do, just please keep the school open.
Reporting from the Near West Side, I'm Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
Our thanks to Regina. Right now, carjacking suspects are still on the loose after a series of thefts on the city's north and west sides. This was the scene after one carjacking Tuesday night in Lincoln Park. Police say a woman was parking this car when a group of men forced her out of that car at gunpoint. Police clearly found the car, but the men got away. And that was one of at least 7 carjackings reported this week. Here's a map of where they happened. The other incidents have been reported in Lincoln Park, Pilsen, Ukrainian Village, and Rogers Park. In one case, the suspects fired shots toward a victim who tried to get away. Police say in every case, the suspects were seen riding in a black SUV.
New here at 4:30, Illinois lawmakers are considering a bill that would require expanded lights and sirens training for ambulance drivers. The measure was prompted by the death of Donald Stallworth III. The Waukegan man died last year after an ambulance ran a stop sign and hit his motorcycle. While the ambulance lights were on, the siren was not. Stallworth's loved ones say they don't want others to go through what they did.
On that day when we lost our son, we lost a piece of our hearts. Our life that we lived once before is no longer.
The measure would also require ambulance drivers to use both their lights and sirens when going through a red light or stop sign.
Let's turn now again to that crash in Schaumburg this morning right now on I-90. Mike Lorber's up in Sky 5. Mike?
Alex, an absolutely terrible crash here eastbound in the Jane Addams Toll. We're just before Meacham, where you can see only the left shoulder of traffic gets by. Among many bad signs is the fact that they haven't moved any of these vehicles. That is usually due to a pending investigation. There were transports made, and unfortunately on the other side of one car there is a sheet that appears to be covering a body. We're trying to get more information on any injuries or fatalities, unfortunately, that may have taken place. Eastbound 90 absolutely crawls east of Barrington Road to Meacham. That's an area to avoid. Higgins, Algonquin, and Gulf would be your alternate routes. We're live here over Schaumburg. I'm Mike Lorber in Sky 5.
All right, thank you, Mike. Feeling a little more like spring out there. We're getting closer, Brant.
About time.
After you see that story with weather's so unimportant, slow down.
Yeah, be careful.
Everybody be careful. Let's give you an idea of what's going on right now. Clear blue skies, 66 current temperature at O'Hare. Rolling through the evening, temperatures in the upper 40s by the time we get to 9 o'clock in the evening. And what we expect to happen is the northern branch of the jet stream, that stuff stays away from us. But overnight tonight, we'll start to see some showers creeping toward the southern counties, maybe even across Cook County. There's 7 o'clock in the morning. That goes away. What's the weekend forecast look like? And we'll share all those details in just a few minutes, so stay right here.
All right, Brant, thank you. The troubles mount for presidential candidates and potential candidates. Governor Ron DeSantis faces trouble with Disney.
Former President Trump is in the middle of a civil trial, and President Biden must find common ground before the country defaults on its debt. NBC5's Alice Barr has more from Capitol Hill.
On my watch, infrastructure has become...
As the field of 2024 presidential candidates take shape, President Biden himself newly declared holding his first virtual re-election event tonight with donors after talking to kids at a White House Take Your Child to Work Day.
When I was younger, 120 years ago,
the president joking about what may be his most serious obstacle to re-election. Former President Trump, who's campaigning in New Hampshire today, portraying the 80-year-old as
failing, weak.
GOP hopeful Nikki Haley stunned with this suggestion.
If you vote for Joe Biden, you really are counting on a President Harris, because the idea that he would make it until 86 years old is not is not something that I think is likely.
The president just yesterday shrugging off widespread concerns over his age.
I take a hard look at it as well. I took a hard look at it before I decided to run. And I feel good.
44-year-old Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who according to multiple sources plans to jump into the race by mid-May, overseas in Israel today for a global trade mission, while in a feud with one of his home state's biggest employers. Disney suing DeSantis for revoking its self-governing privileges, the company claiming that was retaliation for its opposition to controversial classroom legislation known as the Don't Say Gay bill. Governor DeSantis also under attack from former President Trump, who's accusing his potential rival of disloyalty, even as the former president and Republican frontrunner faces his own host of legal troubles. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, hopefully you didn't throw out your Bed Bath & Beyond coupons just yet. The retailer isn't accepting them anymore, but another one is.
Okay, plus a dangerous situation leads to all this damage on a Florida runway.
And a powerful new drug helped patients lose more than 30 pounds. How it could change the way doctors treat obesity.
Take a look here at your screen. This whole situation turned out to look much worse than it actually was at the Orlando Executive Airport this morning. That's two small planes that collided on the ground. They were both on the taxiway. Crews assessed the damage and they cleaned it up. We don't know exactly how this happened, but fortunately, nobody was hurt.
It turns out those Bed Bath & Beyond coupons are not totally expired. The Container Store is now honoring a 20% discount off any single item if you bring that blue competitor's coupon to any store. Bed Bath & Beyond filed for bankruptcy Sunday and is closing all stores. They stopped taking coupons yesterday. The Container Store will accept them through May 31st.
They're all in drawers somewhere in your house. Well, there is a new trial data out for a diabetes drug that could give hope to people who are struggling with obesity. The drug Mounjaro is already on the market to treat diabetes, but Eli Lilly hopes that the FDA will approve it for obesity by the end of the year. It released new data today from clinical trials showing people lost up to 34 pounds on average, or 16% of their body weight.
We're really headed towards an environment where we think about treating obesity as a chronic disease. And I know that a lot of people want to think, oh, people should just be able to do this on their own and eat healthy food, but that's not always possible for everyone.
And ahead, coming up on NBC Nightly News, we'll hear from obesity specialists about what this drug could mean for patients.
Up next for us, 24 families are still homeless after a tornado tore through their Woodridge homes nearly 2 years ago. And repair delays have kept them from coming back. What is taking so long? NBC5 responds.
But first, here's Stephen Holt with a look at what's coming up tonight at 5. Stephen?
Alex and Kate, good to see you. Coming up in just about 15 minutes, a cow let loose in a suburban community. It was supposed to be a high school prank, but now some teens are in hot water. And what's the real reason why people take so many selfies? The new research that may explain it. All coming up next at 5.
We're back with an NBC5 Responds and Telemundo Responde investigation. 24 families are still homeless after a tornado tore through their community in West Suburban Woodridge in 2021.
Now, the homeowners say they have no idea when they can move back in. Here's Natalie Martinez.
It is a very heartbreaking.
Kirit Rungwala finds it difficult to walk through what was once the townhome he shared with his wife and 98-year-old mother. Before an EF3 tornado rolled through these townhomes in June 2021.
What are you feeling? There's a lot of tension.
Nearly 2 years later, Kirit and 23 other families are all still waiting for the repairs necessary to allow them to finally come home.
Little did we know that we'd be sitting here almost 2 years later.
Rob Burasek and his mother spoke to us from Texas. Burasek had just gotten an offer on his townhome for sale literally hours before the twister.
24 hours later, the tornado happened, and my life became a nightmare.
Well, I think the management company is dragging it out way too long.
In fact, 5 owners expressed the same concerns about their homeowners association and its property manager, MC Property Management Corporation, or MCPMC, the agencies responsible for the home repairs.
It's quite infuriating.
Emails we reviewed do not show a clear timeline given to homeowners by the HOA and MCPMC for when repairs will be completed.
Time frame is most important.
MCPMC and the Woodridge HOA did not respond to our questions either. NBC5 Responds and Telemundo Responde pieced together a timeline to find out what might be delaying the repairs. From the start, MCPMC told homeowners the work was extensive, with foundational work, indoor framing, and electrical repairs needed, to name some. MCPMC hoped construction would start in spring 2022 and told owners to hold off on other repairs until other inspections were finished. Then, public records show the country club hit a hurdle. A $1.2 million lien filed on all of the Country Club 5 homes by a remediation company, ServPro. ServPro told us and said in legal filings, MCPMC hired it for restoration services, but it was not paid for the work. So it filed liens on everyone's homes to collect the debt, a surprise to the owners living there.
There had been a lien placed on your home. That was the first red flag.
That lien debt wasn't paid off until April 7th, 2022, according to DuPage County records. The next day, MCPMC obtained its only work permits to date to repair the home's roof and plumbing systems, work that is now done, according to the village administrator. Meanwhile, homeowners say they received some financial assistance from their own personal insurance policies to cover living expenses, but that money is starting to run out.
We pay for insurance here, we pay for rent for the other place. All other expenses are just out of pocket.
It wasn't until this past January that homeowners finally learned from MCPMC how much it estimated all the other structural repair and restoration work would cost in order for them to move back in. $4.6 million. But another roadblock. MCPMC said the HOA's insurer, Farmers Insurance, required a third party to inspect the work needed. Those inspections took place in January, and MCPMC told owners it was frustrating, but that it would continue to push the respective parties for movement on this project. Not all the owners impacted blamed the property manager. Maria Rivas, a former HOA board member, feels Farmers is responsible.
I truly believe that they're dragging their feet.
In its only statement to NBC5 and Telemundo, MCPMC said, "We have worked tirelessly to get to a resolution with the insurance carrier." But in fact, according to the HOA's own monthly financial reports, Farmers Insurance has paid out $3.1 million to the HOA and property manager as of March 1st. Of that, the HOA has spent $2.9 million on what it calls insurance expenses, with no further details on what that means. We asked the HOA and MCPMC what nearly $3 million of insurance expenses was for, but neither organization responded.
We just wish there was better open communication or more honest communication.
Farmers Insurance would not comment beyond that it's currently working with its customer to resolve this claim. The Woodridge HOA recently filed a complaint with the Illinois Department of Insurance regarding Farmers, but state regulators would not tell us what the complaint is about. Natalie Martinez, NBC5 Responds.
Hope they get some answers soon. Thanks to Natalie.
Brent Miller's here with us again. And Brent, we think about the safety danger with the tornado, and there's all the after effects.
And you know, the other thing is have your documents, have your insurance policies, take pictures of everything in your house and be prepared for the eventuality if something does happen like that. Don't be surprised. All right, let's give you an idea of what's happening. Clear blue skies, no severe threat at all. 66, the present temperature at O'Hare. Let's go through the next several days and give you an idea what to expect. 59, the high temperature tomorrow. A couple of showers possible in the morning hours. And then we get to the weekend. 60 on Saturday. Looks like showers early. Then there will be some hours that'll be dry. More wet on Sunday. Only 50 for the high temperature. Today's average is 64. 49 on Monday. It's got to get better than that, and it does. Middle 50s on Tuesday. Roll on into Wednesday. Look for temperatures that will climb a little higher, around 61. Right now, things are fairly quiet across the Midwest. We haven't seen this big blocking pattern setting up yet. That doesn't occur until we get into the weekend. But here's what we're seeing right now. On the northern branch of the jet stream, we've got a little system here that stays to the north, and this one to the south starts to creep its way toward us, especially across northwest Indiana. Indiana. Look at the timeline. 6 o'clock in the morning, you may see a couple of showers across northwest Indiana. Winds turn off Lake Michigan. That's going to be a huge difference in temperatures. Some 60s inland, but only 50s near the lakefront tomorrow. And then we push on toward Friday night and the weekend. Outdoor plans Friday night, no problem. Early in the morning hours of Saturday, line of showers coming through. You'll see that, and it really kind of lights up across northwest Indiana here into the noon hour. But then you look out to the west and a spotty shower activity, maybe even some peaks at the sun. That center of low pressure is still taking its sweet time working its way eastward towards Chicago. It settles over the Great Lakes as we get to the second half of the weekend. Here's a little piece of it coming around to the south, giving us showers on Sunday. And then it just kind of sits here. And look at the representation. The model's seeing just moisture and showers, drizzly kind of stuff that continues all the way into Monday. And we talked about that blocking pattern last night at 10 o'clock. Here it is once again in the shape of the letter omega, the Greek alphabet, and then the storm system that's on the west coast just kind of sags to the south. Eventually, middle part of next week, that works eastward, breaks the pattern down. We'll see some drying and some warmer temperatures as we move into next week. So here's the story. 59 showers early tomorrow morning. We hang on to some cloud cover. Chance of showers early on Saturday, more spotty activity into the afternoon hours. Sunday, a chance of showers. This thing just kind of sits on us. Even into Monday, a few showers possible early on Tuesday. That pattern breaks down. Temperatures back in the 60s and some sunshine toward the middle part of next week. More on the forecast coming up at 5 o'clock.
Thank you so much, Brant. We want to go to Mike Lorber in Sky 5 now for another update on that crash in Schaumburg. Mike?
A horrible crash, and the fears we had of the worst, unfortunately, are confirmed here by District 15 State Police. They have just issued a press release saying preliminary information indicates that the driver of one vehicle of the four in this crash, that's a silver vehicle, was pronounced deceased at the scene of this crash. There are 3 other vehicles involved, and the drivers of all 3 of those vehicles were injured as well. We do not have the extent of those injuries, so a death investigation will take place here, unfortunately, eastbound I-90 before Meacham. Traffic is down to one single left shoulder. It will remain that way for hours to come, and eastbound delays are standing still from Barrington Road all the way into before Meacham. So if you plan on traveling this way, you're going to want to use alternate routes. Those would include Higgins, Algonquin, and Gulf Road, and we'll keep you posted on any developments. We're live here in Schaumburg. I'm Mike Lorber in Sky 5.
Oh, very sad update. Thank you so much, Mike. A prestigious honor now today for our soon-to-be new news leader. Sally Ramirez was recently named Senior Vice President of News here at NBC Chicago. This afternoon, she received the Distinguished Journalist Award from her alma mater, DePaul University. Ramirez says she always knew she wanted to be a journalist.
As a little girl, I'd read the paper. My dad would bring home the paper from work every day, and my parents would watch the news every night. I loved information, I loved knowing things, and I was always naturally inquisitive.
While at DePaul, Ramirez got to experience what a newsroom was like with her first internship. It was right here at NBC5. So this is really a full circle moment for her. Big congratulations to Sally on the award. And of course, soon, welcome aboard.
Yes, congratulations. She says she still has her old intern ID from back in the day.
That's right.
Hope to see that. All right, coming up next here, a peacock back home at the Bronx Zoo. NBC had nothing to do with this, and it has quite a colorful story to tell about what happened after it escaped. A bizarre scenario in New York now seems to be resolved. Take a look here.
A peacock is back home on the Bronx Zoo grounds after escaping last night and unfortunately biting a man on the sidewalk. It happened as the man tried to help wrangle the escaped bird about 2 blocks south of the zoo.
I was walking, it came out of the zoo, it was walking up the block. They tried to trap it in a private house. When it got up here to Vice and East 180th, it flew from the private house straight up into this tree, and it's been here ever since last night.
You've seen a peacock before? Yes, but like through a picture because I'm learning it in science.
This is different.
This is a little different. The bird flew into a nearby tree in the West Farms neighborhood before returning to the zoo of its own volition, apparently, early this morning. This man who was bitten, thankfully not seriously injured. But what a story to tell.
What a weird thing on It's crazy out there.
Very odd.
Okay.
All right. That's going to do it for us here at 4 o'clock.
Allison and Stefan have the news now at 5.
Anything can happen in New York.
I was going to say that
happened in the Bronx.
People just walked on by probably.
And I remember the show, the other guys in the movie, the other guys, they said peacocks couldn't fly. So now we know they can.
The more you know.
That one did.
Alex and Kate, thank you very much.
Well, straight ahead on our news at 5, more animal stories to tell you about. A high school prank that caused big problems in a suburban community. Police had to jump into action to corral a cow loose in the street.
Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson names his transition team, and the next big question is who he will name as police superintendent.
Also, remembering Jerry Springer, a look back at the man behind the controversial daytime talk show. The news at 5 is next.
Right now at 5, utter chaos in the suburbs. Police racing to corral a cow let loose on the streets.
Remembering Jerry Springer, the host of the popular but controversial daytime talk show, passed away in his Chicago area home today.
And high hopes for Bears fans tonight. We'll take you live to Kansas City ahead of the NFL draft. The NBC 5 News at 5 starts now. Good evening, I'm Stefan Holt.
And I'm Allison Rosati. We begin tonight with more on a breaking news story we've been following this afternoon. A deadly crash in Schaumburg. Mike Lorber is in Sky 5 with the very latest. Mike?
Allison and Stefan, it was about 3:30 this afternoon when the dispatch came out here in the Schaumburg area of a serious four-vehicle crash eastbound I-90. That's the Jane Addams toll here before Meacham. They said there were serious injuries involved, and unfortunately,
We will come back to Mike Lorber when we get our signal back. But again, one person dead in that fatal accident in Schaumburg.
We've got some more breaking news this evening. One teen is dead. Another one is wounded in a shooting on the near south side. This happened this afternoon at Cullerton and State Street. Chicago police tell us the victims were approached by someone in a stolen Kia. Apparently there was gunfire that rang out. Police detectives now investigating.
In other news tonight, we have the latest on a prank that got out of control in a suburban community. Police say a cow got loose in a neighborhood after high school students tried to bring animals to school. Police officers had to chase the cow down to keep people safe, and now those teens are in hot water. It all unfolded this morning in northwest suburban Niles. NBC 5's Karen Aguilar with the story.
A cow bolted down a sidewalk near Grace Avenue and Davis Street in Niles early Thursday morning in a normally quiet neighborhood.
That is a first, out where we live. Cows, nope, never seen a cow running down the street.
Robert Plummer, who took the video, says he thought he was dreaming when he witnessed it after working an overnight shift.
Parked my van, was about to get out, and then I actually said aloud, "Is that a cow running down the street?"
The chaos took other neighbors by surprise.
Oh my God, it's funny. I see a cow in front of my yard. They were chasing in the picture.
While some people thought it was funny that a cow was running down the street, others didn't.
It's an animal, it's a living being. It shouldn't be parading around a neighborhood.
Police say students from Northridge Preparatory brought live animals, including chickens, a pig, and the cow to the school as a senior prank. Students purchased the cow and pig on Craigslist, police say.
I think it's shameful and irresponsible of the people that did it.
But it was a prank gone wrong. The cow took off running, sending Niles PD and Wagner Farms on a mission to capture it, catching it at about 9 a.m. Wagner Farms tells me the cow will be taken to a rescue and isn't hurt.
I think we can laugh because it has a happy ending.
Police say the school administration will not be pressing criminal charges on the students, but they have been issued citations by the Village of Niles. The school responded in a statement saying, in part, the senior class is in the process of contacting the police department, city officials, and local residents to apologize. We apologize to the local community for any inconvenience this event may have caused and will work internally to find resolution and accountability. Reporting in Niles, Karen Aguilar, NBC 5 News.
Let's turn to some more news on this Thursday evening. Politician turned legendary talk show host Jerry Springer has died at the age of 79. Springer served as the mayor of Cincinnati before getting into television. His sensationalized talk show ran for more than 25 years, and it was taped right here at the NBC Tower for many of those years. At its peak, the show was a ratings powerhouse. It drew viewers with its wild guests, bleep profanity, and lots of chair throwing. Today, some who worked for Springer are remembering him fondly.
He was truly a man of the people. We would have jam-packed audience, and Jerry would be very, very to the point that he wanted to meet every one of his fans.
Despite his show's popularity, it has also been widely criticized for contributing to a decline in social values. Springer's publicist says he died today at his suburban home in Chicago.
Our condolences to his family tonight. Police in Madison are investigating a shooting that left a young woman dead and a man injured. This happened just before 10 last night on the 3700 block of 214th Place near Main Street in Madison. Police found a man in front of a home there, shot in the leg. An 18-year-old woman was in a parked car with several gunshot wounds. She later died at the hospital. Neither victim was from Madison. Police are now working with investigators from several nearby agencies.
Right now, the jury in the ComEd 4 bribery trial has wrapped up another day of deliberations. Prosecutors said the group of executives and lobbyists tried to bribe former House Speaker Mike Madigan. The defense saying it was all legal political lobbying. NBC 5's Charlie Wojciechowski has been covering this trial from the start. Joining us now with the latest from court. Charlie?
Well, essentially, Stephan, they've wrapped up the week here at the federal building because there will be no deliberations tomorrow. The judge has a prior commitment, as does one of the jurors in this case. The jurors know they haven't been working on Fridays, so they have been allowed to make commitments on Fridays. That means this jury will resume their deliberations on Monday. For a third day, jurors in the trial of the ComEd 4 continue to pore over the evidence, asking for transcripts and binders to hold them. But their questions shed little light on how the jury is considering the case against lobbyists Mike McLean and Jay Doherty, and former ComEd executives John Hooker and Ann Pramaggiore. The first thing they wanted to see, a physical copy of the indictment itself, which accuses the defendants of corruptly giving things of value like jobs, contracts, and payments for the benefit of public official A. Public official A, prosecutors were clear during the trial, was then House Speaker Mike Madigan, who allegedly allowed the utility to pursue an agenda in Springfield that helped turn the company around and earn it millions of dollars in profits. The jobs were allegedly given to Madigan loyalists. On this secretly recorded video, former ComEd executive turned state's witness Fidel Marquez asked what those workers, referred to as subcontractors or subs, did.
Yeah, they're a sub under you and you cut them a check. Do they do anything, or what do they do? What do you have them doing?
Not much. The indictment also alleges the defendants knowingly falsified certain ComEd books, records, and accounts by obscuring the detail of the transactions involving those subcontractors. McLean, Hooker, Pramaggiore, and Doherty maintain what they did was not illegal, but rather was simply lobbying and goodwill building, which was just part of doing business in Springfield. Now, it's important to note that ComEd as a corporation has entered into a deferred prosecution agreement with the Justice Department and paid more than $200 million in this case. Madigan is not part of this particular trial, but he does have his own trial coming up next year. And as far as this trial, the deliberations will begin here at the federal building again on Monday morning. Reporting live, Charlie Wojciechowski, NBC 5 News.
Thanks for the update, Charlie. We want to go back now to Mike Lorber in Sky 5. He now is able to tell us more about this deadly crash in Schaumburg tonight. Mike?
Allison, it happened about 3:30 this afternoon, eastbound I-90. That's the Jane Addams toll before Meacham. And unfortunately, when police arrived on the scene, one person was pronounced deceased, 3 other people transported with injuries. We do not have the detail of the extent of those injuries. So an investigation ongoing here. You can see the immense amount of damage done to the 4 vehicles, especially that silver vehicle in the center of the crash that unfortunately one person inside that has lost their life. Eastbound I-90, just the left shoulder of traffic is open at this time, and traffic is standing still from Barrington Road into this scene. I would imagine into the night. It's going to be hours before they get lanes open here. So if you normally travel this way, some good alternate routes, Algonquin to the north or to the south of 90. You can take Higgins or Gulf Road. Again, eastbound 90 will be very heavy with just a shoulder open for some time to come. We're live here in Schaumburg. I'm Mike Lorber in the Sky 5.
Mike, thank you. Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson says he is closer to naming an interim police superintendent as his first day in office as mayor of Chicago is about 2 weeks away. Johnson released the names of his transition team, and 2 of them stand out as former members of the police department. Let's get more now from NBC5 political reporter Marianne Ahern. Marianne?
Allison, the transition team includes leaders in government, business, labor, and some activists. With crime the top concern, the members of the Police Safety Committee, they are getting the most interest. At Brandon Johnson's last meeting at the Cook County Board, fellow Commissioner John Daly offered advice to the mayor-elect, and Board President Tony Preckwinkle made it clear she is looking forward to the changes at City Hall.
Living with 2 mayors, I saw they made good decisions and decisions that were unpopular. You will face that, but you will make a decision on your own. And once you make a decision, that's it.
For the last 12 years, last 2 mayors, I tried hard to work with them. I will tell you honestly that collaboration was difficult.
Johnson's to-do list includes a stop at the Carpenters Union Training Center. The questions, though, are focused on his transition team. The names released earlier today. Giving input on public safety will be former Chief of Detectives Brendan Dinahan and Robert Boyk. He led the Reform Office, but was fired by Police Superintendent David Brown.
What those 2 selections offer is my commitment to building a very diverse, eclectic set of leaders who love the city of Chicago and the people of Chicago.
Also on that Public Safety Committee, State Senator Robert Peters, who has spearheaded bail reform.
After what has felt like a long time of a divided city, we have a unique opportunity to come together and really push the city forward and to say that no matter your zip code, Chicago has enough for everyone.
With interim police superintendent Eric Carter leaving on the same day Johnson takes over May 15th, Johnson will select a new interim superintendent, and he is not ruling out former top cop Eddie Johnson.
There's a lot to be learned from everyone in the city of Chicago, and I cast no judgment on anyone, not even the superintendent, the former superintendent Eddie Johnson.
The interim superintendent would serve until that nationwide search is complete. So far, only 7 have applied, and the commission tasked with vetting the applicants, they do expect there will be more. Stefan and Allison, back to you.
Marianne Ahern, thank you so much. Let's take a turn now to an update on flood preparations in Iowa. The city of Dubuque closed off its entire floodgate system to try to keep those floodwaters from getting into the city. So far, flooding has mostly been limited to recreational areas along the Mississippi River. Now, forecasters in the Quad Cities say the crest is expected Monday and could stay below 22 feet.
Let's get a quick look at our weather right now with our chief meteorologist, Brant Miller. Such a gorgeous day. Yeah. Suburbs were even nice and warm.
And that flooding situation, think of what the drainage of the Mississippi River all the way to the Rockies and that snowpack that's been in the northern plains, all that stuff is melting. So here's what we're dealing with here. As Allison pointed out, it's just flawless. Look at the temperature, 66 at O'Hare. Into the evening hours, we'll see those numbers dropping into the 40s. And what to expect? A couple of showers sneaking toward us in the late night, early morning hours of Friday. There you see it. Not an area-wide event. And a lot of this stuff may stay aloft. Northwest counties may not see anything out of this at all. Different story for the weekend. Still rain Saturday and Sunday. Details in the forecast straight ahead.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Brent. Bears fans have been patiently waiting for this day. Who are they going to pick in tonight's NFL draft? Mike Berman, live in Kansas City tonight. Hey, Mike.
Hey there, guys. Big night on the way for the Bears organization. They're hoping to nail this 9th overall pick. They've kept that 9th overall pick as it stands right now. And one of the options, offensive line. We'll tell you about it coming up in sports.
Fingers crossed. Thank you, Mike. Celebration in a suburban community. All 125 graduates from a local high school are headed to college. We're going to hear from the students.
And tonight on the NBC 5 News at 6, with Kim Fox stepping aside as Cook County State's attorney, names of who could replace her are starting to surface. What our political reporter Marianne Ahern has just learned tonight at 6.
Some really good news to share tonight. For the 10th year in a row, every senior at a predominantly African-American high school in the south suburbs has been accepted to elite colleges and universities. Our Leanne Trotter with the story.
The class of 2023 is...
There's definitely a celebratory mood today at Southland College Prep Charter High School. Not only have all 125 seniors been accepted to the colleges and universities of their choice, but the class of 2023 has been offered $60 million in merit and need-based scholarships.
Michael Igbinoba, attending Princeton University.
Michael Igbinoba is the first Southland male student in the school's 10-year history admitted to Princeton.
I've always been driven to really take in what I'm learning and really challenge myself to the best of my abilities.
Then there's Robert Jackson, the first Southland student to be accepted to Cal Tech.
Don't be afraid to fail, and always go for like the highest achieving thing that you could do, like push past any boundary in your way and just go for like the top.
And valedictorian Haley Jackson is the first in her family to go to college. She's been accepted to a record 5 Ivy League schools. She also has $4 million in scholarships, and she's a Gates Scholar, which will pay for 100% of her college costs. She credits family and her school.
They always push the importance of being educated, going to college, learning more about not only yourself, but also about the world around you. And it really sparked a curiosity and an urgency to learning.
It is our strongest class academically. It is the strongest class in terms of where they've been accepted and in amounts of scholarship. Who would have thought?
Despite spending most of high school learning virtually and socially distancing, these students made remarkable achievements as the 10th all-in graduating class of Southland College Prep Charter School. Reporting from Richton Park, Leanne Trotter, NBC 5 News.
Some big things in the future from
Congratulations to all of them.
Outstanding. All right, so scientists believe they know the reason why so many people take selfies. Researchers from Ohio State University say it's not because of vanity. They published a study that suggests people take selfies to capture the deeper meaning of an event. That's opposed to when people just take traditional photos to document a physical experience. And they say people later like their photographs better if they took the type of photo that matched their goals.
I just need longer arms.
It's all in the wrist. It's tough. You're right. You do need a long arm to really get or selfie stick. Remember when those were the rage?
Yeah. What happened to selfie sticks?
Selfie sticks.
I think they got.
I'm sure someone out there still has one.
Yeah, they got banned at concerts and stuff, and so they kind of went away. You know, I never take selfies.
Really? You got good long arms there,
No,
Grant.
it's like in
What
the
put
mirror.
you to work?
The mirror shaving is enough. That's all I need to see. You know, no more. All right, let's give you an idea what's going on. Right now, you can see some fair weather, a little high, thin clouds over us. Partly cloudy, 66. Official high today was 67. Average is 64. We're not quite there tomorrow. 59. And some showers possible in the morning hours, especially south and east. Saturday, a line of showers in the morning, 60 the high temperature, more showers around. Sunday, more showers and 50. Monday, 49, still showers around. Does it get warmer? Let's push our luck and move on into the week and give you an idea. Tuesday, 55. And then by the time we get to Wednesday of next week, this pattern breaks down. We're back into the 60s. What to expect tonight? There are two branches of the jet stream, one north, one south. The northern one earlier looked a little more threatening and doesn't amount to anything for us at all. You can see the activity across the northern plains. That stays there. What we're concentrating on is the southern branch. The timeline, not this evening, but late overnight into tomorrow morning, you may see a couple of showers across northwest Indiana. A lot of this stuff may stay aloft, and the winds turn off Lake Michigan as this little wave moves off to the east, so that's going to make it a little cooler at the lakefront tomorrow. You may still see a 60-degree number inland, but not at the lakefront. The wind's off the lake, and the lake temperature is in the 40s. Here's what happens Saturday. Look at the timeline, 8 o'clock in the morning. If you've got early stuff to do on Saturday, maybe impacted by showers that will continue across northwest Indiana into the noon hour. And look how scattered the character is. And again, this is model guidance. This could change. But some spotty showers possible into the day on Saturday. I think we'll see some peaks at the sun. And then we start to see the center of low pressure just kind of sitting over the Great Lakes. And it swings a little piece around that gives us some showers into Sunday morning. And then this thing just kind of sits here. And that's the pattern that will hold as we move not only through Sunday, but into Monday of next week. This blocking Omega block, and again, it's the shape of the Greek alphabet. See that Omega shape? Storm system on the west coast, storm over the Great Lakes, and we just kind of stay in this. That pattern breaks down toward the middle part of next week. 59 tomorrow at O'Hare, some showers early, 60s inland, cooler at the lakefront. Just wet over the weekend. More on the forecast coming up at 6 o'clock.
Thank you, Brent.
To be a fly in the room as they're making that draft decision tonight, Layla Rahimi, we're all excited to see what the Bears are going to do.
I can't believe it's actually here.
Finally.
Finally. Today is the day. We finally get to see what the Bears are going to do. We go live to Kansas City, the site of the big event, and get the latest on a pivotal day for the team next. It is finally here. The NFL draft begins at 7 p.m. tonight in Kansas City. As of now, the Bears still have the 9th overall pick, but we know teams are not afraid to make deals on draft night. And for more, we go live to Kansas City and Mike Berman. Hi, Mike.
Very true, Layla. They are not afraid to do that, and Ryan Poles himself proved it last year in his first draft when he made 4 trades on the final day of the draft. I heard Stefan say it during the tease. Wouldn't you love to be a fly on the wall in that Bears draft room to know what Poles is thinking and feeling? He's getting set to pull the trigger on his first round pick as a GM, so a lot on the line for him tonight. Now, if Poles stays at number 9, he's got multiple directions he can go, but draft analysts here in Kansas City say Poles should go with an offensive lineman. Whether it's Paris Johnson Jr., Peter Skoronski, someone else, the thought is the big flourish.
You kept your quarterback and didn't trade him away for a quarterback in this year's draft. I'm doing everything possible to make that quarterback better. Now, Jalen Carter can help make him better because your defense is better. But if you got an offensive tackle you're crazy about, you might want to go in that direction and make sure that quarterback is taken care of.
But Jalen Carter is another great option for the Bears. Another draft analyst I talked to here in KC said he's the best prospect in the draft. So what do the Bears think about him? Find out coming up at 6. Live in Kansas City, Mike Berman, NBC 5 Sports.
Mike, thank you. Cubs trying to take the series against the Padres. It's a day game at Wrigley. And as good as Dansby Swanson has been, he hadn't hit a home run this season until now. A solo shot to the left field basket as the Cubs beat the Padres and win the series 5-2 the final. So
it's a good sign.
Right.
Yeah, doing.
Yes,
Cubs win.
Cubs are happy flighting to their next series, so everybody seems to be, at least on the north side, doing well. South side, different story. More at 6.
And draft night in Chicago tonight as well.
Absolutely, on our NBC Chicago streaming channel.
Great. Thank you, Layla.
We're going to be right back with a look at the top stories we're following right now.
Then NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt is coming up next at 5:30. A prank in one suburban community gets utterly out of control.
Those developments in our top stories tonight here at 5. Police say a cow got loose in Niles this morning after Northridge Preparatory students tried to bring animals to school as a senior prank. It was eventually captured. Police say the school is not pressing criminal charges against the students, but they have issued citations.
Legendary talk show host Jerry Springer has died at his home in suburban Chicago. Springer served as mayor of Cincinnati before getting into television. His controversial show was a ratings powerhouse at its peak, but was also widely criticized for contributing to a decline in social values.
Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson says he is closer to naming an interim top cop with his first day in office just over 2 weeks away. Today, Johnson revealed the 50 members of his transition team. Among them, Congresswoman Delia Ramirez, CTU Vice President Jackson Potter, and former mayoral candidate Cam Buckner.
Brant Miller has a final check of the weather. Hey, Brant.
Hey, Stefan, temperatures made it to 67 today with sunshine. A little chillier tomorrow, 59. Winds off Lake Michigan, a couple of showers early, especially south and east. Chance of showers Saturday, Sunday, and even into Monday. If you had to choose the hours where there may be some sunshine, lean towards Saturday. More coming up at 6 o'clock.
Thank you, Brant.
That's going to do it for us at 5. Thanks for joining us. Nightly News with Lester Holt is next.
And coming up tonight on the NBC 5 News at 6, disturbing allegations against a suburban high school track coach. What police want parents to know.
And straight ahead on Nightly, more on the ousted cable talk show host Tucker Carlson now breaking his silence.
Nightly News with Lester Holt starts right now.